And good afternoon there, YouTube. Stampede Valkyrie coming back at you again with another JetSonic Series bar light. This is a different one. Again, I've been on a rant here, or if you want to run, if you want to call it that, of Jet Series bars. And here's one for you that I don't know what the owner of this guy was trying to do. I kind of have an idea, but I'll talk about that as I go over this bar. So this is another Model J. This is a B series, or volts 12. I think the last bar I had was a Series A. I'm not quite sure. I'm going to have to go back and take a look at my other videos to actually call that out. But again, we've got another Jet Series bar. It's another gear driven, so this is a sync bar. It has some things that I'm going to call discrepancies that I do not believe were set up on purpose, or at least from factory. Some of the more observant people here are probably already seeing that. As I come across the bar and give you the full 360, this bar is not in the same condition as the other one is. It does need some cleanup. The only reason why I'm making a video of this right now is just so I can kind of document this myself to see where I'm starting. So the first thing I'm going to point out here is on the, if you want to call it driver's side, is this forward-facing takedown, flasher, whatever he was trying to do there. You'll take note that on the driver's side it's there. On the passenger side, the mirror here does not allow that. This is actually the typical Jet Series mirror for the outboard rotators, minus the one that has the mirror come back and go like an X, if you want to call it that. That was the passenger side. Driver's side, if you take a look, same mirror, except this part here is not there, which means this is open to put a takedown, flash, or whatever you want to put in there. You'll notice that on the other part of the side of the bar, this is pretty clear. There's been some evidence. If you look real close, it looks like there was alleys in here at one point. I do plan on putting another alley light back in here. That's my overall plan, is to at least put alleys back on this once I figure out the wiring schema. But as we come across, and as I come over, this is what I wanted to point out. So as I look at this, you'll see there's nothing on it. There's no wire. The only wire that I can think of that went to it at one point would be this guy, and that guy isn't connected to anything either. So I need to figure out what wire went where and what he was trying to do with it. Again, this is me first time opening up and really looking at this bar. On the positive side of things, I didn't really pay a whole lot for this, but this is another bar I've been sitting on for quite some time. So as I look at this, there's some additional wiring over here. That's fine. I'm just kind of giving an observation that you guys can see. The wiring's not as much of a mess on that side, but I'm going to have to do some tracing. Coming over to the passenger side, we've got our control box here, which I have yet to open up. We do have some wiring coming up here, not really going anywhere, possibly functions that aren't in use. I come across to this, and this is the next thing that stands out. This is actually plugs in. It's in there, so I'm not even sure what that's connected to at this point, or even if it'll light up. I'm going to have to do some tracing. However, am I the only one? And I'm not a jet expert, so I'm going to ask this to other people. That doesn't look right. Like, to be honest with you, this does not look like the flasher that belongs on the end of this bar. As you'll see, there's two holes here. That's for the placement of a flasher. And you'll see that this isn't even installed right. Like, I'm not sure what he was trying to do. Obviously, there's two holes there, but he's only got one bolted in. Again, I mean, it doesn't interfere with the functionality of the rotator, but it's not wired to anything currently. And I'm not 100% certain. I'm going to have to go back through some of my documentation to determine if that's even right. I don't think that is. I think he just installed that. Now, the nice thing is I have several extra parts for one of these bars, so I can kind of spec this out really however I feel like doing it. I don't really feel like diving into all this wiring, but I may just have to do that in order to figure out what's going where, so on and so forth. But that's it in a nutshell. I just want to talk about this as my starting point and then get a little bit of video with it running. At least at this stage, the rotators work. So let's fire it off. And there we go. I mean, the rotators do work, so at least we know that's good. Obviously, there's no power to that front-facing takedown slash flasher or whatever you want to use with that, so there's nothing for me to do with that. The end lamp on the back end there, I don't know what wire that plugs into, and I'm very, very cautious to just start randomly applying power on a Jet Series bar. For those of you that worked with these in the past, I'm not looking to fry that control board, which is in the box over here. So that's where I'm sitting with this. I figured I'd just put this up there and just get an idea of what's going on. As I said, I'm digging things out because I've got time to work on them. So let's pause this here. I'm going to throw the domes back on it, and you can at least see what it looks like with it with the domes on it. And via the magic of pausing a video, we're back. The domes are on it. As you can see, these are the original domes. These domes are in pretty good shape. I think I'm going to end up borrowing these domes, swapping the filters, and putting this on that other bar that I just finished up. Maybe a little bit of polish, but really not a whole lot I got to do to these guys. They're pretty good shape. As you can see, this bar probably had alleys too at one point because it's got the cutouts for it. But as I said, the alleys were removed. I'm kind of wondering if the guy who had this bar took the alleys off and put the alleys as that rear facing flasher and then the front facing takedown there. That'd be kind of interesting. I'm not sure if he was trying to go with this, maybe do a J-cal or something along those lines. That would have been kind of interesting, but I don't know where he's taking with it, and where I plan on going with it is not going to be a cal bar, guaranteed. I have one of those already. I don't need another one. So with that said, let's start this up. And there we go. We got blue. As you can see, I'm going to get down here. There's your blue Jet Series bar. Really doesn't look bad at all. It does kind of lose a little bit of the flash because the mirror being cut there on the driver's side, but for the most part, pardon the shaky cam, there we go, that should correct that a little bit. For the most part, this isn't too bad. I'll give you the 360 as we go around this. The, again, alley light, and then coming across to the back. And I don't dislike these bars. I know the one guy, or a couple people I talked to, think that I dislike the Jet Series bars. I don't. The Jet Series bars are actually kind of neat. For me, for the most part, it really boils down to the fact, and that's actually kind of cool. You really do get the sync flash pattern with the rear of this, which is actually kind of neat. But for the most part, I just don't think these bars were as effective as the Aerodynamics do. And I'm a bit of an aerodynamic, funny, aerodynamic kind of, if you want to call it, nutso on the Aerodynamics. But Jet bar's not too bad. Again, I think they're fine. I don't have a problem. Let me back up a little bit and see if I can get you down and taking a look. But the blue on this is actually kind of sharp. I actually like that. That's pretty sharp. But anyway, long story short, there it is. There's a starting point. I think honestly what I'm going to end up doing with this is taking these domes off and repurposing it to that other bar. So that way I'll have red blue on there after I give these a clean up a little bit. And then I'll have to find another set of domes for this guy. So anybody out there, if you have a set of Jet domes, they don't need to be black toppers. If they're black toppers, more power to you. But you got Jet domes that can be saved, and you're not looking for an arm and a leg for them, hit me up. I may be interested in at least a set so I can bring that other bar back. But all right, that's it in a nutshell, or that's it in a nutshell there, YouTube. Stampede Valkyrie out.